Hello, PlayStation planners, players, and pure geniuses. Welcome back to the channel, and thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys are excited for this build. I most certainly am. National Guard base with all vanilla assets. This one was a challenge, but I think considering the assets that we had and a little bit of imagination, I think this turned out really good so far. So, here we go, everybody. Bar right, National Guard base. It's gonna have medical facilities for the community, medical airlift. They'll have a disaster response unit and a large cargo facility, which all seemed like reasonable things for a National Guard to have in a small country like this. The military would have a lot to do with the structure of the economy. Alright, so I was originally trying to do a roundabout up there that would lead down to another collector road, but decided to leave that part of town kind of rural over there instead of building more city. This always takes some time. When you're doing landscaping like this, you have to play around with water. Woohoo, Vanilla City Skylines. You know, as much as I wish I had access to like the mods and even like 25 tiles and such, the limitations that you do have with the console definitely make it more of a challenge. I do have this game on my laptop, and I'm able to make really big cities on that, but there's not as much of a challenge because I can just unlock all 82 tiles and build all over the place, whereas with only 9 tiles, you really have to be judicious about where you decide to build things, and I don't know, that kind of reflects on maybe some challenges that cities really have, the limitations on where they can build, where they're allowed to build, you know. Be it that all the land around them is privately owned, or they were only granted so much land to build on, whatever it is. So the 9 tiles and all the other limitations and assets that I do have and am forced to work with really make me open up my creativity instead of just having a mod or just the general accessibility to everything off the bat to build things. I like mixing and matching the assets like this to make unique facilities. I'm all about making facilities and stuff, you know. I think everything needs to be a destination of some sort. You know, you never see just one small thing. You know, everything's in groups. You know, you'll find, you know, a lot of medical facilities around hospitals. You'll find a lot of transport and resources around a National Guard base, I guess. Plus, this is really fun. It was a fun idea. Now, I really wish City Skylines would add sort of like a military base asset. Not so that way you could wage wars in your cities or anything, but because I grew up in a military family, and I've lived in cities where the military base was the economy for the town around it. And so you could almost use it like an industrial area, you know, another place that a community uses and needs to make money and thrive. You know, especially in this sort of case where I'm using it like a National Guard sort of base, you know. Now in the United States, you know, the National Guard units do get deployed, but a lot of times their mission is a local mission, you know, putting sandbags up for floods or fighting fires. You know, they have a very big community impact, and I think that makes it alone a qualifier for City Skylines. Just the major role that they do play in a community, at least in the United States. Plus, I mean, come on, wouldn't it be cool to see like some military helicopters and stuff flying around doing drills? Some sort of like Coast Guard boats patrolling your shores, you know? The Coast Guard one could fall under like the disaster stuff, you know, the natural disasters. You know, they play a huge role in preparing for disasters and cleanup afterwards. So, I don't know. Just a shout out to the City Skylines creators and communities to maybe keep that in mind. Not on a warfare agenda, but on a community agenda. Some military assets. I could see that even on like with larger maps, you know, the 82 tiles. There really are countries around the world that are that tiny. You could literally use 82 tiles to make a small country, and why not have some sort of a military asset, especially if you're trying to do, you know, maybe like a militaristic style society. Maybe that's, you know, the big thing for the society, you know. Maybe they're a big conscription style community, and you serve the community by serving the military, stuff like that. Don't mind me messing around with all the airport assets here. It's been so long since I've used any of them, since the airports DLC came out, that I just wanted to see how big they were in comparison to this airport I was building, because it felt really small. And then I pulled up the old airport assets and realized this still was much bigger than any of those. So I used 2 of the park maintenance buildings there. I liked the kind of rounded roofs, you know, kind of gives like a bunker or a hangar sort of storage facility, a garage look to it. Some big storage facilities there. I didn't realize that I could make those fishing routes go across a tile that I hadn't unlocked yet, so I was trying to make a channel there, and I wind up filling it in later, but gotta get power to the base. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I think some sort of a military asset like that would be super cool in City Skylines. Especially for something like this, where I'm going to build like a border between 2 countries. It's not going to be 2 whole countries, just a portion of each one, but, you know, I don't know, I just think it's going to be cool. I've never done anything like this. I haven't seen anything like this, so I think it's going to be an interesting build. I'm going to use the European style buildings on the other side. That's going to be the next part of this build, is starting on the other side of the map and starting to build up that community. And maybe I'll design some sort of a base for them too. I'm thinking they're going to be, I don't know, you'll be able to see like a different sort of governing style, you know, where with this city, you know, the commercial areas or the central part of the city I think I'm going to put like factories and other industrial uses more in the central part of the city, like, you know, like that's what all the people do, is work in these factories and do these industrial jobs, whereas this side of the passage is more of a free market kind of capitalist sort of society. I don't know. It's just going to be cool. I've been looking up different stuff from different parts of the world, and yeah. So these, I wanted to look like there was some sort of an obstacle course there. So I put these up, you know, some sort of a climbing rack. I still have to do a little bit more to this little obstacle area. I was just kind of running short on ideas on what I could use, but I've got a couple more ideas now that I'll put in the next video when I do some detail work. But otherwise, it turned out really good. The track, the gravel beneath it, the little climbing frame there. Just kind of a drill area for all the soldiers. These are the ore industrial complex barracks that I put in for the military barracks. It was a toss-up between that and the oil field ones, but I just think these look a bit more uniform. More like something that you'd see on a base from bases I've been on. This is a small National Guard base. This is nowhere near the size of a lot of the bases that I lived on growing up, but you know, I would imagine this isn't quite as big of a country as the U.S. You know, they maybe have bases like this, and this is their, you know, considered a bigger base for them. I don't know. We're using our imagination here. I was trying to get that control tower on the inside there of the terminal, but it just wasn't working out. I guess hindsight says I could have flipped it the other direction, but that's okay. Just stick her right there on the end. That still works. I can still see air or all the traffic just fine. So now we gotta build our gate. I didn't do anything too fancy. I did have some really ambitious ideas off the get-go, but there just is not a lot of room leading down to this little peninsula, so anybody have any other creative ideas, post some pictures or something of something maybe I could use in this size space. I just kind of went with something simple, a toll booth and park information building and a road maintenance building. I tell you, the roads are going to be fantastic in this city because of all the road maintenance buildings I put up. They just make decent looking little office buildings. So I put a hospital there in the main area of the base. Just a lot of storage units, storage areas, you know, where they would store supplies, vehicles, equipment. You know, here we go with the fishing boats. I use the shellfish fishing boats as kind of my Coast Guard patrol boats. And then I kind of messed up because I tried to delete it, but I couldn't delete it in the square that I hadn't used. There we go. We'll have the other patrol go up here into this bay area. There we go. Well, that's turning out really good. And then we're going to fill in this canal. Because that was just horrible, awful, terrible idea trying to do that. Not the best looking boats, but, you know, this country sees use in them, so that's what they're using. Let's get a little overview there. Man, yeah, this was a ton of fun. I was crunching this one over in my head for about a week or two, building this base, and it turned out a lot better than I was planning on it working out. So here we go, putting in the gate. Again, I had some ambitious ideas to start with, but it just wasn't happening. So yeah, here we go. If you look at the budget when I started this, I had almost $1 million. This base was expensive to build for this city. Now I'm pinching pennies. Pretty sure I got a loan. Yep, I got a loan for $200,000. There it is.
Hone your skills. Look, boy, you in the danger room. Yeah, you in the danger room. Come on now. It's like a dream. Everything moving fast, but you moving slow. Chase the tempo, watch we on time. Hey, now you know. Listen to the rhythm we giving them, we bringing it with passion. Slashing, you should just move to my groove. Case in point.
Man, that's cool. Heck yeah. I still add a couple more things to it. Some more drill areas and such. But just kind of filling in with concrete what I can, adding paths in between the runways. And I don't know. I thought it looked pretty cool. And I guess that's what matters at the end, is if I think it looks cool, because I'm the one who's building it. So I was trying to get that disaster response building in here, and I had totally forgot about it, and that was one of the main things that I decided I needed for this base, was the disaster response building. But I just could not make it fit in that space, so I wound up extending the peninsula down here and kind of tucking it next to the runway. Probably not where they would actually have it, but you know, we made it work. Gosh, all this terraforming, or yeah, something like that, just to get this building on there. Man, it took forever. And then I decided I wanted to put it on the other direction, because I didn't like the direction that I didn't like all the turns and then the road right there next to the runway. So yeah, I flipped it around. Boy, with all that air traffic, everybody's trying to do stuff around here. Yep, so this is where I tried to flip it around. is. So yeah, I think that worked out okay. Hopefully no airplanes fly into the back of that building. We're gonna fence it all off. You know, give it the illusion of security with a chain link fence. Yep. So yeah, I even went around the runway and stuff with it too. Tried to box the whole place in. Maybe I'll add some rocks or something over there just to make that beach less desirable to walk on. Yeah, that's it. It turned out pretty cool though. Oh yeah, here we go, trying to make that that other track. This would be their long track, the one that they do like their mile runs on. Or, you know, like 4-mile runs. I don't know. Seems like I had to do some crazy runs just in ROTC alone. There we go. Even though they're in the military, still can't trust everybody around an airplane. Alright, change the name here. This is where it became Barite Air Base and Barite National Guard Base. I had to name the industry area and the airport area because you can't overlap the district painter for those two. An airport is treated sort of like an industrial district. There it is. Barite Air Base, and then this was Barite National Guard Base. That's what I named it. Yep. There we go. Doing some detailing here. Make that cliffside look more appealing. And then fix our gate. Damn, that turned out pretty good, I'd say. And then right here I started to add a bunch of trees, and then I was like, well, maybe I'll add a giant rock that they have to climb. So I went like out of my way adding these trees, and then wound up adding a giant rock that covers a lot of them up. Not that rock. Yeah, that rock. And just kind of a bendy path around it. Maybe they would do runs or something like that before they climb the rock, or something. Whatever they feel like they need to do for training. Or bushes. Never enough trees. Not in my cities. Never enough trees. Boy, it's coming pretty close. This is pretty much the end of the National Guard build. Watching this thing get super busy. I add a little bit of detailing to that new neighborhood I added in the last video in that green green area between the collector and the main road or the neighborhood roads. Alright, so that does it for the military base. I think it turned out really good. So yeah, gonna hit that greenway area really quick and then wrap it up for this video. Well, I think that's about gonna do it, guys. I hope you really enjoyed the video. I'm gonna have a little bit of I don't know, a video showing off the rest of this build, some of the city stuff. Thanks for checking out the video. Like and subscribe, especially if you made it this far, and keep tuning in for more content like this to come. I love being able to show it to you guys. It's a great outlet for me. Take care, everybody.